Most guitarists use way more finger pressure than they really need to, and it's killing their fingers, hindering their speed development and destroying their stamina. When you place your fingers in exactly the right position within a fret, your chords sound sweeter, your lead lines sound cleaner, and it can help you play much, much faster. I'll show you some exercises and what to work on so that perfect finger placement becomes your default. It's not something you need to think about once it's programmed in. Now, when you physically experience something and you know it to be true, you're much more likely to actually use the knowledge. So let's start by doing a little exercise together. So please go and grab your guitar right now if you can. So I'd like you to start by placing your first finger in the 5th fret of the G string, the 3rd string. And I want you to start by placing it right up next to the fret and just play that note. If you put it too much on the actual fret itself, you'll start to kind of deaden it. So it wants to be like just behind the fret, but not on top of it. Now what I want you to do is to pick the note over and over and gradually release some finger pressure. You're trying to figure out how lightly you can press and still get a really clear note. Once the note starts to buzz or die, just add a little bit of pressure back so the note is clear. So let's just try that together. So putting my first finger there right up near the fret, I'm playing, gradually releasing, and it starts to buzz, so just put a little bit of pressure back on. And then I want you to kind of register how that feels. Now I want you to move your first finger right to the back of the fret, so nearly on the 4th fret. And try the same thing. Start with the same amount of pressure. You probably won't even get a note. And then keep pressing harder and harder until you get that note back a little. Right, there we go. You'll feel it straight away. It's way harder to get a clean note at the back of the fret. So here's the key idea. When your finger is close to the fret, you need very little pressure, but when it's far away, you need a lot of pressure. It's a simple idea, but it's a big deal. Let's take a look at how this affects playing chords. Beginners often complain about finger pain when they're doing chord practice, and it's nearly always down to poor finger placement. Those doing my beginner guitar course should know about this stuff already. If not, you must have been skipping a bit. Naughty you. Now, my favorite practical application of this concept is our old friend, the basic open A chord. Now, when I started playing guitar back in the Stone Age, we all learned to play the open A chord with fingers 1, 2, and 3 all in a line. That was just the way you played it. It was in every book. But have a look at how far your first finger is from the fret there. Now I can do this chord this way, but my first finger is having to press really, really hard to get that note clear. And you can hear if I just even relax the pressure just the tiniest bit, that note sounds all buzzy. To get a clear note, I really have to press that pretty hard indeed. You have these two choices. You either use a lot of pressure and get a really sore finger, or having a buzzing note all the time without really understanding why. When I started making online lessons and was writing my beginner course, I started exploring alternate chord fingerings, mostly looking for easier chord changes. But I stumbled upon a different fingering for the A chord, and boom! The buzzing problem was solved, and as a happy accident, it also makes the changes from the D chord and the E chord easier through using finger 1 as an anchor, but that's for another lesson. Let's have a little look here. Here's the traditional, I'll call it, 3 fingers in a row version of the A chord. Quite difficult as well if you've got fat fingers. But look, if we move second finger over to the 4th string, you can see now fingers 3 and 2 are right up next to the frets, and finger 1 can kind of sneak in there in between them. It doesn't go like right the way up, so it's still a little way from the fret itself, but it's still pretty close, at least a lot closer than it was when it was back here, miles away back toward the 1st fret. So just that simple change there, playing the A chord like that, gives you more fingers right up next to the fret. It's a lot easier to get a nice kind of clean chord there. And as I mentioned, the first finger being where it is makes a really simple transition to the D chord and to the E chord, which are 3 chords that are very commonly played together. Let me show you a super easy but amazingly effective exercise for developing consistency with your finger placement in chords. You start with any open chord. Let's say pick a C chord. Now, I automatically go to pretty decent finger placement because I've known about this for quite some time, but I'm going to pretend that I don't and do some wonky fingering. So now what we're going to do, we go to look at the fingering and we check each finger and go, oh, hang on, that's kind of far away from the fret. So let's just move it up there, nice and close to the fret. And the second finger, well, kind of got dragged up there by the first finger placement. That's all looking pretty good on our C. And then we simply just move to another chord. Let's say a D chord. Now this is a real common mistake that beginners make with the D chord. They get this ringy second string because they haven't stretched out that third finger enough. So you really got to work on that extension of the third finger, get it nice and close to the fret, and then you get your nice sounding chord. Usually the first and second fingers are, commonly well placed. It's that third finger that people play like that. That's a real common sound for a D chord for beginners, and it's all just that third finger, slide it up. Not only do you get a clearer note, but you use a lot less pressure, so you're going to get a lot less finger pain. And the general idea here is for a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes, you just change chords and check the fingering with every chord change. Let's say, what about a G chord? Okay, again, this is a common thing for, you get this rattly bottom end on the G, but if you look at it now, you'll easily see that that second finger, it's just too far away. Slide it up. Look, the third finger slid up with it. First finger down. If you're playing the G with the first finger, I'd usually play G like that personally, but if you are doing it with the first finger, you ought to make sure it's there again. What about a A minor chord, say? So let's try A minor. There we go. Now that's all buzzy, see? Move it up close to the cat as we can. If first finger is too far back, that would be a bit of a weird thing to have first finger so far back, but you can hear. When you get the fingers in the right spot, everything just sounds so much better. Now, there will be times where you can't get right up next to the fret, but you got to do your best. So just keep playing through one chord to another chord, try and get them as perfect as possible. You could just keep moving around between different random chords, but I think the most effective version of this exercise is to keep going around a small pool of chords, maybe between 5 and 10, for a whole 5-minute session. Now, if you can manage to do that every day, within a week, you should notice a drastic improvement in your finger position. You'll also notice that using better placement means a lot less pressure is used, so your chord changes become faster and smoother, and you can play for a lot longer without any fatigue. By the way, if you're digging this lesson, please do me a solid and slap that subscribe button. It really helps me reach and help a lot more guitar players. I really appreciate your support. Costs you nothing, but it really helps me out. Cheers. After you've been paying attention to this for a while, you'll find that your fingers naturally detect a very slight touch of the fret and will naturally place themselves up near the fret if it lands a bit far away. Now, this is going to take some time and some deliberate awareness of the correct position, but it will come sooner than you think. And once it's there, you never have to think about it again. It'll happen automatically. Now, this concept is equally effective for single notes and scales, especially if you want to learn to play faster. Good finger placement keeps your notes clean and your hand relaxed, and a relaxed hand is a fast hand. It also helps you avoid unnecessary tension so you can play for longer. So let's have a little chat about a scale exercise now. Let's start with pattern 1 of the major scale. Let's just play it really nice and slowly and observe where your fingers land next to the fret. Now, again, I've been doing this rather a long time, so I think my finger placement is generally pretty solid. You can see that they're right up next to the fret every time. Much more common though is to have things like this. Like this, where the little finger just needs to reach out a little bit more. That would be the most common one, is people getting this. But you can hear as soon as I start speeding it up. I was playing Mixolydian mode there for a second, but it's actually really, really difficult for me to do it wrong now because my fingers naturally just want to move up next to the fret. That is actually what you want. Now, let's try to go through it again. I'm going to deliberately try and make it a little bit wonky. So just observe the first time. See if you can spot if a note doesn't come out well or it's a bit buzzy. See if you can just think about what's going on. Try and notice if you're pressing too hard or if the finger position is obviously a little bit wonky. Okay? Once through, just to observe. I like to think of it as I'm the objective observer and I'm just watching somebody else do it, even though I'm watching myself play. I find that a helpful way of deliberately kind of making the mistake so I can observe it and I know what it is that I need to fix. Most people will find that they have particular fingers that don't want to get up near the frets more than others. Once you've done that and you've got some understanding of the mistakes that you're making, try again to play the scale very slowly and try and get your fingers with the perfect placement right up next to the fret. Developing this skill is very valuable, but it's sometimes not easy and it will take some practice. Most times the most valuable skills on guitar take time and effort to develop, so be cool with that. Don't expect perfection too soon. Now, as I touched on earlier, if you need excessive pressure to make a note ring out clearly, then you're severely limiting your ability to play fast. When you watch very technical players playing at the upper limits of what's even possible, it usually looks relaxed. It has to be. That's why it looks so much easier than it really is. And correct finger placement doesn't magically make you play fast, but it makes fast playing possible. Now, as you know, there are always exceptions to the rules, especially in music and creative arts. When I'm playing something very aggressive or powerful, I may press down way harder than I need to as part of the expressive process, but we need to be aware of the problems that come about through doing so. If you press too hard, you can actually raise the pitch of a note and make it sound out of tune, but perhaps that level of force is needed to fully express yourself, and expression is kind of the point. And there are going to be times where you want to play a chord that you just can't physically get your fingers up next to the fret, might just be too stretchy. But if you understand the principles, you'll know where you might need to compensate and press that little bit harder to get your notes nice and clean. I've seen dramatic changes in students within just a few weeks of attentive practice, so start paying attention to it as soon as you can. Aim for perfect placement, and even if you just get a lot closer, your tone and your technique will be vastly improved. I really hope this little tip helps you on your guitar journey. Let me know in the comments what other technical problems you face, and I'll see what I can do to try and help you fix them. Do remember that there are thousands of free lessons over on the website, all graded by difficulty and in a logical progression. Hope you have yourself an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you for more again very soon. Bye-bye.